Even as he spoke, though, the great hangar doors of the tower slid open, smoke from the battle outside pouring in. And through that smoke came a diminutive figure, but one seeming taller than all of them at that moment.
Master Yoda,
Dooku breathed.
Count Dooku,
said Yoda. Dooku's eyes widened and he stepped back, turning to face Yoda directly. He brought his lightsaber up to his face, shut down the blade, then snapped it to the side in formal salute.
You have interfered with our plans for the last time.
A wave of Dooku's free hand sent a piece of machinery flying at the diminutive Jedi Master, seeming as if it would surely crush him. But Yoda was ready, waving his own hand, force-pushing the flying machinery harmlessly aside. Dooku clutched up at the ceiling, breaking free great blocks that tumbled down at Yoda. But small hands waved and the boulders dropped to the sides, bouncing across the floor all about the untouched Master Yoda. Dooku gave a little growl and thrust forth his hand, loosing a line of blue force lightning at the diminutive Master. Yoda caught it in his own hand and turned it aside, but far from easily.
Powerful you have become, Dooku,
Yoda admitted, and the Count grinned. But Yoda promptly took that grin away by adding,
The dark side I sense in you.
I have become more powerful than any Jedi,
Dooku countered.
Even you, my old master.
More lightning poured forth from Dooku's hand, but Yoda continued to catch it and turn it, and seemed to become even more settled in his defensive posture.
Much to learn you still have,
Yoda remarked. Dooku disengaged the futile lightning assault.
It is obvious this contest will not be decided by our knowledge of the Force, but by our skills with a lightsaber.
Yoda reverently drew out his lightsaber, its green blade humming to life. Dooku gave a crisp salute, igniting his own red blade. But then, formalities over, he leapt at Yoda, a sudden and devastating thrust, but one that never got close to hitting. With hardly a movement, Yoda turned the blade aside. Dooku went into a wild flurry then, the likes of which he had not shown against Obi-Wan or Anakin, raining blows at the diminutive Master. But Yoda didn't even seem to move. He didn't step back or to the side. Yet his subtle dodges and precision parries kept Dooku's blade slashing and stabbing harmlessly wide. It went on and on for many moments, but eventually, Dooku's flurry began to slow, and the Count, recognizing the futility of this attempt to overwhelm, stepped back fast. Not fast enough. With a sudden burst of sheer power, Master Yoda flew forward, his blade working so mightily that its residual glow outshone even those of both of Anakin's lightsabers when he was at the peak of his dance. Dooku held strong though, his red blade parrying brilliantly, each block backed by the power of the Force, or else Yoda's strikes would have driven right through. Just as he was about to launch a counter though, Yoda was gone, leaping high and turning a somersault to land right behind Dooku in perfect balance, striking hard. Dooku reversed his grip and stabbed out behind him, intercepting the blow. He let go of his weapon altogether, tossing it just a bit, and spun about, catching it before it had even disengaged from Yoda's blade. With a growl of rage, Dooku reached in more deeply into the Force, letting it flow through him as if his physical form was a mere conduit for its power. His tempo increased suddenly and dramatically, 3 steps forward, 2 back, perfectly balanced all the while. His fighting style was one based on balance, on the back-and-forth charges, thrusts, and sudden retreats, and now he came at Yoda with a series of cunning stabs, angled left and right. Never could he strike low, though, for never did Yoda seem to be on the ground. Leaping and spinning, flying all about, parrying each blow and offering cunning counters that had Dooku skipping desperately backward. Dooku stabbed up high, turning the angle of his lightsaber in anticipation that Yoda would dodge left. But Yoda, as if in complete anticipation of the movement, veered neither left nor right, but rather dropped to the ground. The Count had already retracted the missed thrust and began a second stab, this time down low, but Yoda had anticipated that too and went right back up behind the stabbing blade. A sudden stab by Yoda had Dooku quick-stepping back even more, off balance for the first time, and then Yoda flew away up and back. The furious Dooku pursued, thrusting hard for Yoda's head. And in his rage, when his stab missed yet again, he reverted to a slashing attack. Yoda's green blade caught the blow, holding the red lightsaber at bay, locking the two in a contest of strength, physical and of the Force.
But well you have, my old Padawan.
Yoda congratulated, and his lightsaber began to move out just a bit, forcing Dooku back.
The battle is far from over,
Dooku stubbornly argued.
This is just the beginning.
Reaching into the Force, he took hold of one of the huge cranes within the hangar and threw it down at Obi-Wan and Anakin. "Anakin!" Obi-Wan cried. He grabbed at the plummeting crane with the Force, and Anakin, startled awake, did so as well. Even working together, they hadn't the strength left to stop its crushing descent. But Yoda did. Yoda grabbed the crane and held it fast, but in doing so, he had to release Dooku. The Count wasted no time, sprinting away, leaping up the ramp to his sailship. As Yoda began to move the fallen crane harmlessly aside, the sailship's engine roared to life, and all three Jedi watched helplessly as Count Dooku blasted away. As Anakin and Obi-Wan walked over to the exhausted Yoda, Padme rushed in, running to Anakin and wrapping the sorely wounded young man in a tight, desperate hug.
A dark day it is,
Yoda said quietly.